Hi everyone, as Richard said, my name's Nick. I work in the pre-sales department of Britannic. I mainly look after the CTI products that we do, as well as the Lync proposition we have and Lync Integration for integrating Microsoft Lync into existing telephone systems like IP Office and bigger systems. So in my presentation, these are the things I want to cover and make sure everyone's clear on my agenda. So the first thing is to improve your telephone service and experience with CTI. What is Lync and why should we be talking about it? What is Britannic seeing in the enterprise space with Lync, and the gaps within Britannic and the ecosystem we've built around Lync to fulfill those gaps. So first of all, let's cover CTI. Does everyone know what CTI is? It's a quick 30 seconds. Computer step is obviously integrating your telephone system with your data, essentially. So your database systems on your laptop and your PCs, etc., to integrate the two to use them in a better way. So the CTI has been around for a long time. It's probably got a bit of a bad reputation for being expensive, complex, and difficult to install and manage, etc. But we've been doing it for a number of years, and we've wrapped it around so that it's a lot easier to install, support. It's got a high ROI, so it's cheap and easy to install. So Britannic been working for many years. We support 62 different telephony platforms, obviously the Avaya portfolio, and 65 CRM databases, much the ones you see on the bottom below. Does anyone have any of those? SAP, yeah. We've got SAP. So for SAP, we integrate with SAP, and I'll show you what the common use is on netCONNECT, is our CTI product, on how we work with SAP. But we work with off-the-shelf databases like those, as well as bespoke ones. So if you have a bespoke system that's built with SQL with a web front end, or you've got Oracle back end, or all these different systems, we can find a way to integrate to them to do three basic things. Is a call preview, where you know who's calling before they pick up the phone, the screen pop, and then click to dial. And we can obviously do more with that. So the good thing about CTI, it can save up to 40 seconds on each incoming call. So you get an incoming call, you know who it is. You don't need to search in the database for that person. You can answer by name if you want to. Say what's your account number, what's your postcode, what's your first line address. You can just bring those details up straight away and save that time trying to search for someone. And transversely to that, you could dial a number on screen, so any phone numbers on the database or Office applications or within Notepad, Excel, etc. can be dialed with one click. So instead of dialing that number, it may sound a bit trivial, but being able just to click on a number and dial it is a massive help. It brings data from multiple CRM systems to one central location, so you might have more than one CRM system. You might have an old system that you're running with that is not quite transitioned to the new one, so we could dip into an SQL database, we can dip into an Access database, bring those to one source so you can search for those contacts and screen pop, depending on which database it's in. If it's in both, it can make a decision on which ones to pop, or a user can do it on their own behalf. It gives a professional feel when the call is answered, so you can answer the call by name. So obviously you know, say who's calling you or company name, and you can answer the call with that information. So if a customer is calling all the time, you can always answer and you know who it is, and they feel better for that. So a basic CTI scenario, you get an incoming call. This is just using the Lync preview. If anyone's used Lync 2013, you'll recognise that. So that's the preview ring. You've got the icon there of Salesforce, so it's looked up the CLI number, the incoming phone number is a mobile. So right, I know that mobile is represented by Hawes at Britannic. It does a dip into the database and brings that information back. It also brings up the logo of the database it's integrated to, so that could be screen popped. So I answer the call either by picking up the phone as normal or pressing the answer call button. If you've got a headset in, it would go directly into your ears. You've still got the Salesforce. You can either get it to screen pop based on the event, so either you pick up the phone and it initiates a pop, or the user presses the button to initiate a pop. If it was in more than one location, you would stack these icons. You've got a Dynamics icon or an Access icon or a bespoke one that we can create that, or just an icon to be able to pop. And then obviously once you answer the call, when you press the button, it will screen pop. So this is based on a Salesforce CRM, but that would be in place of your CRM system. You can also see the underlined here. netCONNECT does that itself. It underlines telephone numbers. When you click on them, and it dials that number, so your phone comes to life and dials that number. It also underlines email addresses. You click on that and it will generate a new email for you. So, any questions on the CTI solution? Like I said, I've got a full netCONNECT solution on my laptop, so if you want a demonstration of it, I can do that. It works with multiple phone systems, so if you did have an Avaya but you had an old Ericsson in another site, you could make it work with that until those users transition to the Avaya system, or if you did have loads of transparent systems, it brings them all into one. They use one common interface, and then today there's just a phone handset. The make is different, but everyone's experience would be the same. Installation is just a server client model, so we can do it from a hosted environment in our data centers. We can put it in your hosted environment, or we can do it on site, just as long as we've got visibility of the phone system and the database. So, Lync has been said a number of times today. Lync is a phone system in its own right, so Microsoft branded a PBX killer. We haven't seen that yet. I don't see it becoming something that's going to happen very soon. Has anyone not heard of Lync or not seen Lync before? Okay, so to go back a bit, Lync is basically a UC tool, so unified communications that gets thrown around a lot. So it's a client-based application that works on your PC or on a mobile device or a tablet. It shows presence of users, so if you're available, not available in a call, you can obviously see that information from just a quick glance. You can send them a message, you can give them a call, you can do a video call, you can screen share, collaboration. So all those bits are within Microsoft's Lync deployment. It's been around since 2007 with OCS, went to Microsoft Lync 2010 and to Lync 2013. I'll talk about the deployment models because that's quite important on why people are adopting it. Other vendors, such as Avaya, have been doing it for a long time as well. Microsoft certainly didn't come up with the idea of unified communications or this type of tool. It's just another way of doing it. And I say the main points to think about it: presence messaging, video, office integration, and conferencing is available to all users. It's becoming a tool of choice in unified communications. It's not a fad, so Microsoft haven't brought it out and then taken it back in. A lot of people are adopting it. It's making a huge impact on telephony and the collaboration space. An important bit is the adoption of Microsoft Lync. We're seeing a lot of users of Office 365. So if you use Office 365, or if you don't know Office 365, Microsoft have built their own data centers that offer Microsoft applications from their data centers, so from their cloud for pounds per user per month. You might have just the Office suite, but the more expensive models include Lync as part of that. So you can do presence messaging, internal voice, internal video, all these bits are part of Office 365 for a amount of users and cost per user per month. So people are adopting it because of that, because it's just been put on their desktops as well. So can they do with this? It's been installed and they try it out and do different things. So it gets adopted without a salesperson effectively coming in to sell it to them. It's something that's always going to be there. So why do we talk about it at an Avaya seminar with Lync? There is obviously some crossover there. There's the gaps basically within Lync. So we know that people can use Lync. Avaya know that Lync is around. There's no fight against it. It's an integration piece. So there are some integration points already directly with Avaya, but as Britannic, we've got an ecosystem that complements that. So there's just the main points. Lync, I'll go through them individually on each slide. So, like I said, you could use Lync as your telephone essentially. So you may have a number of users in a smaller site that might use Lync as their voice stream. and you might have CTI that you need to work with Lync. So we have our CTI solution that works directly on top of Lync, as well as if you had it on an Avaya system. So this slide is basically saying that it's the same solution, same list of databases, there's 65. We support Lync as a UC tool as much as we would support a traditional desktop phone. This next slide talks about our Lync gateway. So with Lync in a on-premise deployment or in a hosted environment, not Microsoft Office 365, but a hosted deployment of Lync, so basically an on-site, but put in a data center, you can connect the Lync client to your phone. So it is, with an IP office, you have an IP office Avaya phone on your desk. When you make a call from Lync, the Lync client tells the Lync server to make a call. Lync server speaks to our netCONNECT server, which then speaks to the telephone system and to the phone. So basically, when you dial a number, your phone springs to life and makes the call. And in reverse, obviously, when your phone rings, Lync pops up to say you have an incoming call. You can answer the call, but it's the Avaya that's doing all the voice stream. There's no SIP trunks plugged into Lync. Lync is not doing any voice. You don't have to worry about how the bandwidth's going to cope with voice on this system. It's all still directly on the phone system. You don't have to worry about the issues with Lync being relatively new and having gateways that plug into Lync for voice, and all those kind of problems. You can just use Lync with your phone system. And like I said, with the IP office, you could use netCONNECT to connect in an IP office. It could be like I said, an old Ericsson system that joins it as well. And all the users are using Lync, they believe, as their voice stream, but it's actually using whichever phone system they've got until they transition onto one main system, or just keep those separate systems with Lync in the middle. Avaya do their own tool for this. This is one that sits on the bottom of the Lync client, which works very well. Ours is slightly different. It works on a server model, so it uses the server to speak to the phone system rather than a client application, just dependent on your deployment model. Obviously, if you had thousands of users, you probably want one server to control that rather than installing on desktops. But there's pros and cons for each, basically, so we can go through this, and obviously you've got to demonstrate that. So benefits of that is keeping your existing infrastructure, keep existing handsets. One of the problems if you deployed Lync would be to have all new handsets. There's different vendors that do these, but we've done a lot of testing with audio codes, polycons, and etc. The experience is not great compared to an Avaya system with an Avaya phone. You get used to music on hold, for example, is terrible with Lync, and transferring calls and all these kind of complexities are a lot harder with what we do with an Avaya system. So what I just explained on how it works, you've got your telephone, it starts to ring, your preview comes up within Lync, so you get a preview caller, gives you the CLI number, and you answer the call, you get a bigger version of the preview window, pops up on screen, and then you're away busy on the call. I just noticed I'm pointing this at the screen when actually so yeah, that's in the simplest form, that's what it does. Is there any questions on that, on how that works, or?
Did it again.
Sorry?
You did it again.
No, I did it again. So, our Lync integration is the netCONNECT Lync gateway. It integrates with 62 different phone systems, updates the presence, that's a good point. So when you've got your presence, it will say you are in a call if you're using your Avaya phone. It will go red and say you're in a call rather than say you're busy. It connects existing telephony to one interface, so you can use lots of different phone systems with Lync to control those. Removes the need to upgrade to SIP. If you were using an Avaya ISDN, you had to still use ISDN. You can still use all your traditional ways of using the phone system. You don't have to upgrade to SIP to use Lync. Lync will speak SIP to our netCONNECT server, but that's it's not. You don't need to worry about that part. Excellent value for money, of course. And integrates with netCONNECT CTI, so the screen pops, etc. can happen directly on your Lync client rather than having a separate CTI client. You can use that in conjunction with the gateway. And number 3, we've got our Lync Integration in our hosted environment. So we covered about Office 365 version of Lync is a cut down version of Lync essentially. So you can only do a limited set of features within the Office 365 proposition. That's not going to change anytime soon. Maybe Lync will offer a breakout point to the outside world using Lync, and you pay like a Skype account would for credits to make outgoing calls. But in Office 365, the takeaway is that it doesn't offer as much as an on-premise solution would. So Britannic have seen this and built essentially an Office 365 version, but a full Lync solution within our data center that offers a cost per user per month. So you could just have presence of messaging with integration to your phone system from a cloud for pounds per user per month, rather than having a consultant brought in for a number of weeks or months to install Lync, configure it and run it. It would be all managed by us on our NOC and all the support agreements that you get with that, to have a Lync estate as well as your traditional phone system estate. We do offer all the features of Lync, and we basically tailor it to what you need. So if we want presence of messaging, great, we'll build it to that specification. You just need one server to do that, but if you did want to access from the outside world, for example, you might need a separate server, and the cost of the model will change based on your requirements, not based on just a system that we push out. It is a private solution, so it's not a public cloud version. You do have your own instance of Lync. You're not sharing it with anyone else, doesn't get contended. It's your own instance of Lync. Like I said, it's an on-premise deployment, but we built it, we managed it, and we're able to do that in a number of hours rather than weeks or days. We can build it to your specifications, and even offer trials. So if anyone wants to trial it, we can build a solution quite quickly, and you can have a Lync user on your mobile or your laptop to be able to use within days. So the benefits of our hosted Lync, of our user with Lync on the desktop, use of existing features of Lync. So you can still do internal Lync calling, you can still do internal Lync video and screen sharing, collaboration. All those features are still available. HARO obviously, so you don't need to replace phones and infrastructure and network and cabling, and that's still as it was. And say cost per user per month model doesn't have to be, but it's in this day and age it's a lot easier to be able to go to the board, etc., with a cost per user per month rather than a big lump sum. Lastly is something that we have without trying to push it into an ecosystem, but because we are telephony resellers, we obviously know everything about porting numbers, DDIs, call routing plans, federation, all these different features that come from a Lync deployment or integrated with a phone system. We can do all those, and it's part of our everyday life. So if you were speaking to a Microsoft house, they might not have these features available to them. They might not know how SIP works or how to get a dial plan working and all these extra features. So it's good to know that a voice reseller has all these parts in our portfolio. So final thoughts. What's Lync good at? So it's bringing users together for presence, instant messaging and chat. Easy, feature-rich conferencing facilities. So there is a conferencing bridge available in Lync. The conferencing can work through your Avaya system as well, so you could launch the conferencing. It doesn't go out through a third party or another way. It can go directly through your phone system, so it still uses all the trunks and all the access points that you've got there, port-to-port video and internal voice communications. However, what it's not so good at, I certainly wouldn't recommend deploying Lync as your phone system. The features that you forget that you might need call recording, call routing, holding, parking call login, call recording, they're all features that you need and probably have, but on Lync are not there yet. So it's best practice to have your phone system with all those features on, and you might use Lync because that's what people are asking for rather than what you necessarily need. So we can bridge the gap between those two worlds, between Lync and Avaya for a range of products that we offer. Lync Gateway being to connect your phone to the Lync client, the CTI service, our hosted Lync to offer a an easy way to deploy Lync without having to get Lync consultants to be able to do that. So, any questions? Like I said, I've got my system set up here so I can show you how it works with the telephone system as well as the CTI, and working with the database to do that.